effectiveness of an intervention. Last P is phenomena, to establish the existence of a regularity. Every research study has two aspects. What are they? First is study of population. That means people, individuals, organizations, groups, communities. They provide you with the information, or you collect information about them from them. Then subject of area, problems, issues, situations, associations, needs, profiles, from where you are trying to get the or collect information. That means the problem, subject of area, first is problem, then program, that means content. What should be the content of your research? Then structure, outcome, attributes, satisfaction, consumers, service providers, etc. Then last one is phenomenon, cause and effect relationship, the study of a phenomena itself. Information that you need to collect to find answer to your research questions are all these things. Next step is formulation of a research problem. Research problem formulation is most important because you have to, when you are going to formulate your research problem, you have to prepare a number of questions, because when you are satisfied with your questions, with your answers to your questions, then and then only you can be able to formulate your topic or research problem. So working through these steps presupposes reasonable level of knowledge in the broad subject area within which the study is to be undertaken. Without such knowledge, it is very difficult to clearly and adequately dissect the subject area. Dissect means you have to go deep into that matter. You have to find out, you have to dig deep the matters, and then trying to find out or collect information about it. So you have to dissect the subject area. So for this, the step one is identify a broad field or subject area of interest to you. First, if you want to make any research on any area of any district, then you find out the broader area, broader field, then you delimit it gradually. Number two is dissect the broad area into sub areas. Then select what is of most interest to you. Among these areas, what is most interesting to you, you try to find out and pinpoint that. Raise research questions on that pinpointing. After pinpointing the matter, you try to prepare different questions on it. If you get your answer to it, then you can proceed forward. Then formulate your objectives. Then assess your objectives, whether they are feasible or not. Then double check. Next. Next step is reviewing the literature. Review of related literature. I think Pronam has taken your review of literature classes in the morning. It must be extensive. This is very important part. Before you go to have your formulation of research topic or anything else, you have to, whenever you select your topic, when you select your topic of interest for research, you have to go for reviewing the literature. So in order to review the literature, you have to find out different journals, different Sudganga and other Imprimates and other, so many wings are there. You can find out all these things. Essential preliminary task in order to acquaint yourself with the available body of knowledge in your area of interest. You will find that in your area of interest, so many in so many journals, so many researches have been made, and this will give you a clear picture, a clear concept, and this will increase your horizon of knowledge in that area of your interest. So literature review is integral part of entire research process and makes valuable contribution to every operational step. Reviewing literature can be time consuming, daunting, frustrating, but is always rewarding. Its functions are bring clarity and focus to your research problem, improve your methodology. You will find that different types of methodology have been followed by different researchers, and you will get the clear picture of different methodologies. So you can be able to improve your methodology also. Broaden your knowledge, contextualize your findings. Then proceed.
Vidhan, please make me host. Please make me host.
Viewing
Yes,
the
sir.
literature. Research for
Thank you. Ma'am, very sorry. Please carry on.
So procedures for reviewing the literature. Research for existing literature in your area of study. Review the literature selected, which are interesting item. You have to, the topic you have chosen. You must find out different types of literature. You have to review them. Then you will be able to broaden your horizon of your research concept, methodology, your contextualization, everything. You can be able to develop your framework in a very efficient manner. So all these things are very essential. Reviewing the literature is essential, as I think Pranam already have given the idea about this thing extensively. Develop a theoretical framework and develop conceptual framework. Next. Then next comes the formulation of objectives. As the topic will be like that, objectives will be selected. On the basis of your topic, the objectives will be selected. And in order to formulate your objectives, you have to consider all these things. Objectives should be listed under two headings. Main objectives, that is aims, then sub-objectives. The main objectives is an overall statement of the thrust of your study. It is also a statement of the main association and relationship that you seek to discover or establish. And the sub-objectives are the specific aspects of the topic that you want to investigate within the main framework of your study. Sometimes researchers are taking 3-4 variabilities. So the main variability, independent variability, dependent variability, all these things should be considered while formulating the objectives. They should be numerically listed. Wording should clearly, completely, specifically communicated to your readers. Your intention, what you want to do, that means. Each objective should contain only one aspect of the study. We may have different types of, in our topics, 2-3 variation, variability, 2-3 dependent, independent variabilities are there, sub objectives may be there, but each and every objective should be clearly considered separately. Then use action-oriented words. Always the scholars must remember it, because I find lots of research scholars are bringing to me the objectives are not good. Not good means not proper. That means the objective should start with words such as to determine, to find out, to ascertain, to measure, to explore, etc. What you are going to do, you have to tell, you have to state clearly in your each objective. So characteristics of the objective should be clear plus complete plus specific plus identify main variables to be correlated plus identity, identify the direction of relationship. Next. Then on the basis of your objectives, the research design will be prepared. This is also very important, and it automatically comes to you because on the basis of the topic, the objectives will be clarified and objectives will be determined, and on the basis of your objectives, the research design will be prepared, will come automatically. The research design is the conceptual structure within which the research would be conducted. You have to follow the path. This is a path. Design, research design is the path through which you will be able to proceed forward with your work. The function of research design is to provide the collection of relevant information with minimal expenditure of effort, time, money. The preparation of research design appropriate for a particular research problem involves the consideration of the following. Objectives of the research study, as I told you before, the objective should be considered first. On the basis of that objective, your research design will be prepared. Then method of data collection to be adopted. Whom you will select as sample, whom you will select as your sample of study, from which you have to collect your data, information and anything else. So source of information is sample design. Tool for data collection, data analysis, both qualitatively and quantitatively. Then methods of primary data collection. Actually, we are collecting data both in our primary data and secondary data may be there. The primary data, secondary data we are collecting from the different books, registered, other documents and journals and others. So they are secondary data. But primary data, you have to go to the survey area and to use your tools and techniques and collect your data. So this is primary data. There are different methods of primary data collection. Observation method, commonly used in behavioral sciences. It is the gathering of primary data by investigators' own direct observation of relevant people, actions, situations, without asking from the respondents. As for example, types of observation, how you will observe. the situation, the people, the actions. Structured for descriptive research, unstructured for exploratory research, participant observation, non-participant observation, disguised observation. Participant observation you can do through your interview schedule or questionnaires, asking questions, etc. And there are non-participants observation. That means they are not at all participating, they are in the situation, but you are observing them. What are their mode of attitude? What are their behavioral conduct? From their behavior, from their gesture and posture, from their sign of body signal, you can be able to collect a number of data also from non-participant. This is non-participant observation. And disguised observation, you are just roaming around the situation or the place where events had occurred, and you are collecting the data in disguise. So you are observing in disguise. So disguised observation are there. Next. Then survey method, approach most suited for gathering descriptive information. Structured surveys, unstructured surveys. Structured survey use formal list of questions asked of all respondents in the same way. We are preparing only one structured survey questionnaires, and we are applying this survey questionnaire to all the sample group or the sample individuals of the group. So this is structured survey. And unstructured survey, let the interviewer probe respondents and guide the interview according to their answers. They are mostly open-ended questions. Flexibility is there, so they are unstructured. Then survey research may be direct or indirect. Direct approach, the researcher asks direct question about behaviors, thoughts, etc. That means if you want to make survey about McDonald's shop in any place, then you can ask the people, the sample group, why don't you eat at McDonald's shop? But this is direct approach. But indirect approach will be like that. What kind of people eat at McDonald's shop? So from the response, the researcher may be able to discover why the consumer avoids McDonald's shop or McDonald's food eateries. It may suggest factors of which the consumer is not consciously aware. Next. Then there are contact methods also. You can collect your information from mail, telephone, personal interview, focus group interview, etc. Next. Then experimental method. This is, we also call it empirical method, empirical research, or cause and effect method. It is a data-based research coming up with conclusions which are capable of being verified with observation or experiment. Such research is characterized by the experimenter's control. You as a researcher will have your control. You are the experimenter. You have your control over the variables under study and the deliberate manipulation of one of them to study its effect. In such a research, it is necessary to get facts first hand. The primary data should be collected. First hand knowledge, first hand information is essential at their source and actively go about doing certain things to stimulate the production of desired information. Now we come to the sample design, determining the sample design. The researcher usually draw conclusions about large groups by taking a sample only. So what is a sample? A sample is a segment of the population selected to represent the population as a whole. A number of types of sample groups are there. You can select any type as your sample group. On the basis of your topic, on the basis of your objectives, you can select your sample group. Ideally, the sample should be representative and allow the researcher to make accurate estimates of the thoughts and behavior of the larger population. As you know, there are different types of sample. Sometimes we take a sample, a stratified sample. If a class of people is your ultimate interest or aim of topic, then you can take a random sample. Random stratified sample may be, random stratified convenient sample may be there. There are different types of sampling formula, and you have to follow all these things on the basis of your topic, your objective, etc. Then guidelines to construct a research tool. This is also very important. Tools and techniques are important for methodological purpose. The underlying principle behind the guidelines suggested below is to ensure the validity of your instrument by making sure that your questions relate to the objectives of your study. First step is clearly define and individually list all the specific objectives or research questions for your study. As I told you previously, everything should be dependent on your objectives of or research questions. For each objective or research question, list all the associated questions that you want to answer through your study. Step 3 is take each research question listed in step 2 and list the information required to answer it. And the 4th step is formulate questions to obtain this information. Now, as a tool, we are preparing always the questionnaire. How we will prepare it. The structured surveys or interviews employ the use of a questionnaire. A questionnaire consists of set of questions presented to a respondent for answer. The respondent read the questions, interpret what is expected, and then write down the answers themselves. It is called an interview schedule. You have to, as a research scholar, you have to know how to prepare this interview schedule. There are different tools. Questionnaire schedule are there, interview schedule are there, data blank is there. Family, if you want to get or collect data from your from the family of the sample groups, then you have to prepare your family data blank, family data blank. And other tests, standardized tests are there. If it is required, you have to go go for all these types of psychological tests, socioeconomic scales and others. So interview schedule, it is called interview schedule when the researcher asks the question and if necessary, explain them and record the respondent's reply on the interview schedule. Because there are many ways to ask questions, the questionnaire is very flexible. Questionnaire should be developed and tested carefully before being used on a large scale. There are three basic types of questionnaire: close-ended, open-ended, and combination of both. But be careful. In order to prepare your questionnaire, you have to go for pilot study. You have to test, retest. You have to go for test, retest method for its for establishing its reliability, the validity, and after preparing the questionnaire, you have to send it to at least three experts, university experts, for checking, clarifying it, and to make comments. So for checking, giving comments is essential, because after that you can prepare in a new way your questionnaire. That is foolproof questionnaire. Next is collection of data. If you are prepared with your tools, if you are prepared with your questionnaire, your interview schedule, or anything else you are going to apply to your sample group, then you go for collection of data. Having formulated the research problem, developed a study design, structured a research instrument, and select a sample, you then collect the data from which you will draw inferences and conclusions for your study. Depending upon your plans, you might commence interviews, mail out a questionnaire, conduct experiments, or to make observation. Collecting data through any of the methods may involve some ethical issues in relation to the participants and the researcher. Here, I must mention that we are having, as a research scholar, all of you have to know the research ethics. That means there are ethical principles of research, especially relating to the participants of the study, because before you are going to apply the tools on any participants, you have to tell each and every one of your sample group what you are going to do, or what you are trying to find out from them. You have to explain everything. So this is called ethical principles. There are a number of ethical principles in research. I'm not going deep into all these things, but regarding the participants and the researchers, there are some ethical issues. You have to know it. You have to go through all these principles before handling the participants or applying the tools to your participants. Those from whom information is collected or those who are studied by a researcher become participants of the study. You must be clear to them. Transparency should be there. Anyone who collects information for a specific purpose, adhering to the accepted code of conduct, is a researcher. So we in a research have our code of conduct, ethical code of conduct. So every researcher should follow all these things. Next step is processing and analyzing data. So after collection of data, you have to process it and analyze your data. So this is very important also, because after collecting your data, you have to analyze it properly. Otherwise, while you are trying to write down your research result, you won't be able to find your justification with the objectives. So processing and analyzing data involves a number of closely related operations which are performed with the purpose of summarizing the collected data and organizing them in a manner that they answer the research questions. That means the objectives. Always remember that at last you have to, in the final writing, you have to explain that your work, your research work are justified on the basis of your objective. Each objective will be justified. Each objective has been fulfilled. You have to show it to your reader. The next step is generalization and interpretation. Qualitative data analysis is very personal process with few rigid rules and procedures. For this purpose, the researcher needs to go through process known as content analysis. Content analysis means analysis of the content of an interview in order to identify the main themes that emerge from the responses given by the respondents. That means you have a number of set of questions given to the participants. You have collected data. Each content of your questionnaire should be analyzed properly. Otherwise, you won't be able to analyze them, interpret them properly. So analysis, content analysis is very important. Then quantitative data analysis. The method is most suitable for large, well-designed and well-administered surveys using properly constructed and worded questionnaire. Data can be analyzed manually or with the help of computer. We are having a number of techniques for analyzing our data nowadays. In our time, we are using our manually, we used to do all the formulas and the addition, alteration, addition, subtraction, multiplication, root overs and others, everything we had to do ourselves manually. But now you are having your computer and your different types of gadgets through which you can be able to do all these things. Then the last step is reporting the findings. Writing the report is the last and for many the most difficult step of the research process. How we will present your total research work depends on your type of writing. The report you are writing should be very in a lucid manner, in a lucid language, and should be very formal. The report should be written in an academic style, not in a journalistic way. So this is also very important, because sometimes it happens that the examiners are straightway going to the reporting of the findings, try to find out what he had done. So from the basis on the basis of this reporting, the reader can be able to find your research work. Everything should be written in a formal academic style. So reporting the findings is very important. And last one is suggestion for further research work. That means you have taken one portion of any topic, but the other portion you cannot be able to cover up. So that portion is remaining for further research work. Another person can do it. So you have to mention these are the portions which I could not be able to cover. This can be on these topics, the further research can be made. This is your suggestion for your further research, for conducting further research by anybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Bridhan, please stop sharing. And now there are some questions. Only questions from Professor Sukomal Datta. I'm unmuting Professor Datta. Sir is already unmuted. Sir, please unmute yourself. So he's a very senior teacher and very senior researcher as well. So he has some questions. Sir, you may directly ask to Professor Tarafdar. You are very familiar with each other and doing work together, so you can ask freely. And I think this type of deliberation will increase the flavor to the session also. Sir, please.
Madam, you have mentioned that the researchers have to find out the problem in which is want to do the research work. But my question is, because since he is a fresher and the guide has sufficient experience about the research work, then he or she, that is the supervisor guide, has to find out a way out or some suggestions or some guidelines to the researchers. Otherwise, it is more or less impossible to find out the specific problem on which specific problem which is sufficiently for the awarding PhD work. I think the researcher and his or her guide have to comment on the subject. Otherwise, if the two persons go into other ways, it is not possible to find a way out about the appropriate research problem on which the research work has to be done. It's my question and suggestions, because in my personal life, I have find the problem. My first research guide asked me, Sukomal, you go to National Library and Commerce Library and every day you read, and if you find any problem, then you will come to me, then I will give you the suggestion. At that time, being a research scholar, it was very difficult for me to find the appropriate problem.
Sukomal, actually a number of research scholars, they are nowadays, they are coming to me or to, I don't know, to other research guide also, without knowing anything about what to do. So we first ask, what is your area of interest? What is your area of interest? He may tell me that the secondary level of education is my area of interest. Then in this way, I proceed with the research scholar to find out what is his interest actually. Do you follow? The first he has, or the research scholar has to tell me when I ask them, what is your area of interest? Maybe secondary level, maybe the primary level, maybe the in our education, maybe the dropout in some areas, particular areas, then I proceed with their interest to pinpoint their problems. Do you follow?
But I have another question. For example, one expert want to suggest me, for example, my practical case, my first topic was study of risk pattern in paper industry in India. And there the mathematical and statistical tools have to be used. But when when my first guide changed the university, and then I go to another professor for guiding me, then the topic has to be changed, because both the teacher and both the guide and the scholar have to comment on the same subject. He is not, if he or she is not sufficient knowledge on the technical knowledge on the mathematics and statistics, it is more or less impossible to guide the scholar. If any fault is found in future, being a guide, he has to correct it.
Actually, right. Because the scholar is coming to you for your guidance, isn't it? So you must have your command on that subject. Otherwise, no guide or no teacher is able to guide him.
So, with the permission of Professor Tarokdar and Dr. Sukamal Datta sir, let me supplement with my own experience. Already 9 PhD scholars awarded, and 6 more are working under my supervision. So, I have a different perception. The supervisor and scholar both have some good relation with the academic community. Nowadays, the work is going on in such a way that you need not to be a statistician or the econometric expert. If you have good relation with other teachers all over India, all over world, then anybody can help you in analyzing the data and also suggesting the different norms. And I think there is no hide and seek business. Previously, in my time also, I have done completed my PhD in 2007, and in my time also there was a hide and seek business. But nowadays it has been totally changed.
Transparency
And,
is there.
there is transparency, full transparency, open viva examination, plagiarism testing, and all that. একটু পরে করছি, একটু পরে. So to keep this transparency, you have to take lots of lessons from different other teachers, other supervisors also. And in these days, the papers are also written not by only one author, maybe by 16 authors. We cannot even imagine that a paper may be written by 16 authors, each of them having their full domain knowledge and expertise, statistical knowledge, everything is utilized to create one paper. It takes at least 3-4 years. I am now writing for the last 2 years one paper with some foreign expert, and not one but 6 foreign experts are there. So it takes 2 years. So this is the kind of thing, only to supplement you. And Professor Datta has another question, but we have with us.
Before going, raise the question. Okay.
No, sir. Please ask your question. You had another question.
Another question is that I have done my PhD in submitted 1990 and awarded 1991. But the relation between the university teachers, there is something is there. Other teachers, another lobby, continuously try to harass me in the interview when the final interview was given there. Their time was there. That's the question. We can expect help or cooperation from other teachers also.
Actually, those teachers who are non-cooperative, they are not at all teachers to me. The teachers must be transparent, must be honest, must have their dedication, and must be cooperative. Otherwise, the teaching quality is not there. This is my comment. Sorry.
And to supplement you, ma'am, another thing is there. If your work is 100% having merit, and if you have 100% inimical relationship with all the colleagues, even
Right.
after that, the merit will win. This is
Yes.
my perception.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
only as a part of discussion, Dr. Dotto, please don't mind. I am very younger than you, but I have some perception as well. So this is in a discussion mode. And another very pleasant comment made by Professor Geeta Subramaniam from UTM Malaysia. Your presentation is very good. We can unmute her and let's see what she is telling. Dr. Sandeep Poddar is still waiting. Sir, please don't mind. This is a discussion forum. We will take 1-2 minutes more. So,
Shandip is hearing. Shandip is
Yes,
there.
madam.
Professor Geeta is unmuted.
How are you?
Hi,
Professor,
hi.
yes,
Good
please, ma'am.
evening. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Prof. Pranav, and thank you, Prof. Manjusha. That was a real great presentation. I just would like to just add a little bit on what y'all were talking about. Yeah, we also have this issue where students just come to us blank with nothing. So I agree with Prof. Manjusha that when the student or the scholar comes to the guide, he or she must roughly have something in her mind, and
Yes.
after that we will guide them, and if it doesn't go very far, then we can give our suggestion. Okay, I think you are not very clear, would you like to do it this way instead of that way? We can do that. We do that a lot in Malaysia too. Thank you.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, all right, thank you.
So we have
Thank
got
you.
the international view also. Another participant from Indonesia, Yuli Feti is there. I'm asking her to unmute to have her views also. So we have here the flavor of international participation also. And Professor Geeta is one of the senior most teachers in Malaysia UTM, and she has published, she has authored and also been editor of so many journals with very high impact factors. So we appreciate Professor Geeta's very valuable presence here. Thank you so much, Professor Tarubdar, for enlightening us in that way also. And Professor Dotto is our honorable collaborator, adding flavor to this discussion. Thank you so much. And I think I have not been able to unmute Madam Yuli Feti from from Indonesia. So with this happy note, I'm again expressing my heartfelt gratitude and thanks to Professor Manjusha Tarubdar, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Sikkim Skill University, West Bengal, India, and International Advisor of Indian Academic Researchers Association, and our Senior Vice President of IARA West Bengal Wing. So thank you so much. In spite of your very busy academic and administrative schedule, you are with us for so long time, and your presentation is every day your presentation is new. That is your flavor. So
Thank you, Pranam.
Yuli Feti trying to say something. Ma'am, taking one more minute. Ma'am, please unmute. I'm trying to unmute you. So she said thank you. Maybe there's some technical error. So thank you so much, ma'am. And we hope that we'll get sincere cooperation from you again in this academic endeavor. And this is for the good of the society, even if we are in physical pandemic, but mentally we are not at all in pandemic. When the resource persons like you are there, when academic favor is there, when this sort of academic discussion is there, I had lots of inimical relationship with other colleagues, and my supervisor is also having the same, but still our research is going on. Never mind, when merit is there, we will win. And in Bengali amra korbo joy, and in English we'll win forever. We shall overcome. So with this happy note, thank you, ma'am. Thank you once again. And now it's time to, I'll request ma'am to stay with us for a while also,
Yes.
because our two things happen simultaneously. Our very respected and own Dr. Sandeep Poddar sir from not very distant. He is in our family. He is not at all a distant person from Lincoln University College, Kuala Lumpur. Petling Jaya, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. He is the Senior Director Research and Executive Editor Publication of Lincoln University College, Malaysia. And simultaneously, my own teacher in Calcutta University, Dr. Subhash Rai Chaudhuri, also joined as a participant. So he is my teacher. So I'll request Dr. Poddar to come up with his very valuable deliberation. But before that, we have a pleasant task left. Our very own EC member of IARA West Bengal Wing and Assistant Professor of Bhavanipur Education Society College, Kolkata, Professor Sayan Basu, is again given a very pleasant task to introduce Dr. Sandeep Poddar sir, and it's over to Sayan. You do it in your own fashion. Sayan.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. A very good evening to all. First of all, I'd like to thank the person behind this enriching arrangement, Dr. Pranam Dhar sir, former head Department of Commerce and Management, WBSU, and All India General Secretary, IR. It's a great pleasure for me to introduce a resource person for this technical session, Dr. Sandeep Poddar. Presently, he is working as a Senior Research Director, Lincoln University College, Malaysia. He is also serving as an Executive Editor of Lincoln University College Publications. He had completed his PhD in Zoology from University of Calcutta in the year 2004. He had teaching experience of more than 15 years. On his credit, there are more than 30 national and international publications. He is also serving as an editorial and advisory board member in more than 10 international journals. He had received the Best Research Advisor Award from IARA in the year 2019. Moreover, he had also organized more than 10 national and international seminars and conferences, and also acted as a resource person in various seminars, conferences, and faculty development programs. With this brief introduction, myself, on behalf of all the participants and the IARA team, welcoming Dr. Sandeep Poddar for his lecture on the very interesting topic, innovation and publication. Thank you so much, everybody. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Sayan, for your very good presentation and introduction, and very lively it was. And I'll now add some flavor to it. Dr. Poddar is, above all, is a very humble person and always very active. And we have no hesitation in announcing that whatever the publications we are having in international arena, Dr. Poddar takes credit to contribute something and adding something to all the publications to bring them in international arena, including the Scopus Index journals. Recently, IndusScience group of journals is also going to be published under the editorship of Dr. Poddar and me, the sub-editor and associate editor. And lots of young stars of Sikkim Skill University, different other universities of India and abroad have been given chance to publish under the able guidance and advice of Dr. Without Dr. Sumit Bonik, please introduce yourself. Dr. Sumit Bonik, please. So, without wasting much time, now it's time to learn from Dr. Poddar to deliver his lecture as the expert of resource person and expert of technical session 7, dealing with publication and innovation. So now it's over to Dr. Poddar.
Thank you, sir, for and also Sayan for
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Description about me. Like as you told, I am feeling very much proud that what I have done. So, sir, thank you again for welcoming me in this gathering, and also in presence of Madam Manjusha Di. আমি কিন্তু পুরোটাই শুনেছি. I have listened to everything. I just off the camera so that you don't feel any disturbance, and mute also.
Thank you, Sandeep.
See, after within 5 minutes, if you stay with us, you can see what I have seen.
Okay. I'm there.
All the listeners, I am. All of you are now. I can see in the Zoom chat room already 79 persons are here. So all of you are means lecturers and teachers. And from morning today, I told today morning Bidhan also and Sir also that today is full packed 4 technical session, and all heavy weight, from starting from Pranam sir about the literature review, then about Dr. Alan D'Souza about the writing of a good doctoral thesis. Then just now I not need to mention about the research aspect about how Madam is told. And now I would like to share my screen and show. Sir, you have to give permission to share.
Yes, yes. Yes, I have given permission, please.
Okay, sir, can see.
Yes, yes.
So today we are in the second day, means on the 7 days online faculty development program as inaugurated here on 19, and today I think
Third
no,
day.
yesterday inaugurated, no, sir. I already forget
Third
it.
day. Yes, yes.
Today is third day. So, and I am thankful again to Navagal Paliganj Mahavidyalaya, and Dr. Sukumal Datta is here, and Kanchrapara College, and Hiradal Mojumdar College, Memorial College for Women, for this opportunity to call me for this resource gathering. Now, first I want to tell that all of you are faculty members, and is it audible, sir, my sound?
Yes, yes, very much audible.
Okay, sir. So first I want to tell that as all of us as teachers, means you are teachers, so I feel little bit afraid because many senior members are here than me. So how what I speak to you, because all of you know all these things. What we are doing here is just develop ourselves, means we are developing ourselves togetherly. What we don't know, we want to learn. We want to share our knowledge. So I think all of you, if sir also, if anything, sir, unmute also, you will mute yourself, and whenever you want to talk, you should talk and interact, and you should share your knowledge with me. Like just now, sir, Dr. also sharing. So with Madam Manjusha. So accordingly, you also share your views. I just giving a brief overview. Maybe many of you, we don't have the knowledge. I also don't have the knowledge before few years. And when I'm working as a research director, then I come to know these things. And we are, means in the process of learning. So without wasting much time, we are talking about the innovations and publications. And when we doing research, innovations and publications is very useful thing. As just now, Manjusha Madam has told, Honorable Vice Chancellor Madam. So Madam can understand I have listened or not from this slide.
Yes.
So
yes.
she told that steps in research process. All the steps he has mentioned clearly and explained these all 8 steps, and further explain the 9th step also.
Wonderful. With her photo, you have
Yes.
recorded, typed, and everything is get ready. So
It's
wonderful.
her slide, not my slide. So I have
Yes,
to
yes, yes.
give credit and also respect to her. And you can see the formulation of research first. Then we go for extensive literature review. And sir, another thing, anybody, we don't give any break. Maybe online mode, they can off and go to break. Between the lecture, we don't give any break today. Okay, sir.
Anybody can take break if he or she likes. No
Yes,
problem.
yes. So online mode, that is the beauty.
Actually,
that
we all are in pandemic, so there is no thing that organizers are the teachers and the participants are students. There is nothing like it. It is in a discussion mode. Nobody take it personally, and you can take 1-2 minute break. No problem.
No problem. And also in virtual mode, we cannot know who is going where. Now, this madam already discussed that formulating the research problem, then extensive literature review, developing the objective, preparing the research design, including the sample design, collection of data, analysis of data, generalization, interpretation, and preparation of a report and presentation of the data. So all these, like a project, we tell this project paper. This is a project. No? So when we go for project, you can understand there is 2 types of project. Project management, all of you have read, many of you, have read this. Who is health science background, maybe they have not read, but management persons all is aware about this and very much well versed with this two process, agile process and waterfall process. So how you grade a research in which project? Agile project and waterfall, both is delivering a project, but agile is giving part by part. But waterfall, you can deliver this first part, second part, like part by part, you can give the delivery. But waterfall, you cannot give part by part. You have to give directly the final result. Now, so when we doing the research, there is a continuous cycle that we start from the requirement like literature survey, as Madam told. Then we go for the planning, designing of the research. Then we go for the development, means we go and then release and then track and monitor the results and etc. So same thing, both is we doing. And then continuous cycle this one, and this one is sequential or linear stage. Now, what is happening? We are going to get, suppose now last of all we discuss about the PhD and how PhD, when we go for PhD, why? And higher study for what purpose? Because we want to gain something. What we are gaining? That day, Pranam sir also there, last I think 4th July, we have conducted international conference online, and our keynote speaker from Malaysia, she told, from University of Malaya, she told that she was the head of the research center of University of Malaya, and she is promoting all the students to do invention, not publication, because that invention will give them the eagerness to find something, to discover something. Why? You understand why you publishing. In the hall, if you want to write in the chat box, you can write. Like 79% people, 79% people, if we do survey, we can understand why they are doing this, why they are attending this. They will get a certificate after that. And somebody attending this for knowledge, somebody attending this for sharing their knowledge and understand more curiosity. Like Honorable Vice Chancellor Madam, with this seniority, she don't have to listen to this my talk. She already finished that talk and she can take a break and she can go for tea and evening snacks and take rest. No need to sit continuously and observe everything. Yesterday also you have seen, and all the meetings of IIR you can see her, that she is continuously watching everything. Not that off and go, like me, I off and working something else, like I preparing the slides that time. I off, but I am listening. But madam, you can see, always seeing all of you. Now, many of you attending this, after that you will find that, okay, I get the certificate. Certificate getting or not. Without certificate, I will not attend. Why certificate? Because it is beneficial for your posting or your job. Why? Because it can give you increment or it is make stronger your job. So there is a return. Without this return, I cannot work. I cannot do research. I cannot do any invention. I cannot do any publication. Now, why you do publication? Same thing. I can get some, I have some benchmark I have to do. So I am doing publication. I have to do something so that I can get increment. So I publish. And another thing, I want to publish because I have created something I want to give, show to others. So that is another type of means requirement. So within these 79 people, everybody has different motive to attend this and listening this thing and do the publication. So when we're doing the PhD project, many of you already done PhD and now guiding the students. So everybody know that every stage we can publish. First we do the literature survey, we can publish a review paper. When we do the research literature survey, we can also publish case studies. And when we do the research, then we can publish original article or research-based article. In waterfall model also same. we can do full work confidentially, like I have seen during my PhD time in BARC. One girl was doing PhD and she come to Indian Institute of Chemical Biology, IICB in Kolkata for conference attending. She told that my guide never want me to publish anything because it is Bhabha Atomic Research Center. She is working in confidential work. And when the project is delivered and when her PhD will be completed, then only full thesis will be published, not a part. They cannot disclose the idea because of the confidential defense and etc. So both this agile and waterfall project model is useful during our research work. And from there, we are going for innovation. What is invention? Invention means a new product that, suppose I give birth to a child, then I am happy. Same thing, I create something, I am happy. I draw some picture, I am happy. I sing a song, I am happy. I plant a tree, the tree grows, I am happy. So this happiness is required for do any invention. And all the process involving an inventive state and capable of industrial application. So if I do something, if it is industrially used, so I can understand, I feel proud and I feel very happy when the inventor will be happy that yes, my product is used now everywhere. Suppose previously there is no balloon. When Montgolfier discovered the balloon and now every kids is using the balloon. So if Montgolfier see this, how she was happy? Graham Bell discovered the phone. Now everybody have phone. John Wright discovered the flight. Now everybody want to fly. So the discovery make him, this invention of flight make him known to everybody and he is happy. Latest discovery about the PCR in 84, Carey Mullis, 1984, he discovered the PCR. Why I am telling latest? Because it is my study time, our school time, it is discovered. And now every lab has PCR. Every diagnostic lab is PCR. COVID is testing in PCR. So this is invention. And this invention is very much useful in industry. The process he discovered. Like the computer we discovered, we are talking now. This also discovered. These are the inventions we are using everyday life. There is two types, statutory and non-statutory. A new product or process involving an inventive step and capable of industrial application. And this one is solution of specific problem in the field of technology, product or process. So maybe many of you management persons, you can think that, oh, I am in management area, I cannot discover anything. But yes, you can discover also. Let us come, let us see what we can do. Because everything is discoverable and everything can be get awarded. Not only publication. If your publication is there, nobody reading, I'll come back later on. So invention is 3 steps: novel, inventive step, and application. These 3 major things. And who are benefited? The skilled technicians, inventors, and the experts. These are the beneficiaries. So now we coming to IP rights. That what I am telling, that if I do something, I can make it patent. If I design something, that design can be patented. If I want to draw a trademark for a business, that can be patented. You, all of you, many have is marketing management, everything read, because management students, many of you have read everything, that yes, the blue cap bottle. Why blue cap? It is a representing the ocean, the youth. So the water bottle cap should be blue. The red means it is dangerous chemical, hazardous. So there is a difference why the marketing people already make that, yes, if it is red cap, it is dangerous. If it is blue cap, it is youth and it is can be drinkable water. No water bottle is with red cap. So everybody know this. So these are the things we are making. Then we have the copyright. You know, our Gita Bitan previously copyrighted. Now no copyright. After a few years, you have seen that copyright has been removed, what we call abolished. So how it is going, I will tell you. But that also can be done. Your written thing, your thesis, if it is not doing anything, you can make it copyright protected. Like you publishing in journal, that also you can see any book is written copyright protected. The copyright is given to the owner, of author, or to the publisher. It's up to you and up to the publisher. So now that I just now show that maybe the slide I show with madam's picture, so that maybe madam can claim I copyright, but if it is madam's own, if madam collected that one, she may claim, may not claim, that up to her. Now, this one is patentable subject matters. What are the things we can make patent? Related to process, a defined process, or a product, or both can be patented. So if I discover something, experimental thing, and the process can be, the method also can be patented, and that instrument also can be patented. Then a new thing should be new, not that again we have done this and doing that same thing. It involves inventive step and capable of industrial application. Without industrial applicability, there is no need of patent. They not fall under section. That one we will discuss. We don't want to go for deep in sections, etc. That is law person's job, not ours. We are researchers. We focus on academicians. We focus on our things. So what is new? So it is published in India or elsewhere. If it is Malaysia or elsewhere. I am giving these slides from Indian context. In prior to public knowledge or prior to public use, means if it is not already launched in the market, so published not used, then only it can be patented, and claimed before any specification in India. So nobody has claimed yet, so I can make it patent, new. So the features of an invention that involves technical advances as compared to the existing knowledge, or have economic significance, or both. So without economic significance, as I told, there is, you don't get any money, so you will not get anything. But you can also, if you don't get money also, sometimes you get some, what do you call it, happiness, that also may be needed for doing something. Makes the invention not obvious to a person's skill in the art. Now, industrial application means invention is capable of being made or used in any kind of industry. Clear? Now from this slide, there is patent. You can see what is this patent. Then there are defined laws are there in India. Design Act. There is trademarks. Also geographical indications of good, GI marks, and copyright. So these all are, we can tell, IP administration under the IP. Invention, what you call, protection. This one, you can see Darjeeling tea. It is GI. Bengal's Rasgulla. It is GI, protected. You cannot tell Malaysian Rasgulla. You cannot tell Malaysian tea. Like that. Darjeeling tea is Darjeeling tea. Rasgulla is Bengal's Rasgulla. You cannot tell it is Bihar Rasgulla. It is GI, protected. And this one is geographically it is there. Malaysia also have something. Indonesia also have something. So every country have different things. What is their product? You cannot get it all over the world. Geographically isolated. This also maybe you have read already in the when you study. So there are different patent office in India, and there are different laws in different years. Now, what is patent? Patent is an invention on remote control mechanism. If it is TV, if you suppose a TV, then in this TV you can see patent also there. That what is patent? The new technology, that remote control, smart TV, this is patent. What is trademark? The written on that board is Sony. That is trademark of Sony. Any other person cannot use. They can make it copy, but they cannot use it officially. It is Sony means Sony. They can make Sany, they can make SUNY like that. They can change the spelling. They can break the Y to copy, but they cannot use that logo in any product. We cannot use any other person. That is trademark. Then design. So design, like how it looks like, it be carved or straight. That also a design protected. The logo of the design of the logo also design. Now that patent, you must remember, as I told, it should have industry value. Patent is valid for 20 years. After that, it makes to public. And every year we have to pay the patent charge. After getting the patent getting around 3 to 4 years it takes. So up 4 to 5 years also sometimes it delay. So after 4 or 5 years, if the patent got, then it is valid for 20 years. And every year you have to renew it. And the charge is increasing. Not that same charge and charge will decrease. Every year the charge will up. Why? Because first year you should sell your product when it is patented. If cannot sell, means your product is not sellable. So you have to, if you want to viable, you pay. If you don't want to viable, make it public, open. So every year you have to pay a huge charge for maintaining the patent. Then trademark. Trademark is valid for 10 years from the date of registration. After that, we change the trademark again. Or it can be renewed again and again. Now, design is valid for 15 years from the date of registration. After that, anybody can take the design. So every car, you can see defined design. So every car, we cannot copy a what you call Mercedes design and a what you call Maruti design or other Honda design same. Why? Because design is protected. So all of you clearly understand, I think. Now we are going for copyright. So suppose my thesis, I want to make copyright protected, as Gitanjali was copyright protected. After death of the person, it is 70 years or 60 to 70 years it is remain copyright protected. After that, copyright removed. So after that, the Rabindra Sangeet, anybody can sing anywhere, anytime, means up to their. So this is the copyright protection. Copyright protection already removed. So any book is published before what you call writer write, after that writer death, and after that 70 years passed, you can tell this copyright gone. So anybody can copy it, but cannot tell that it's my one. That was another thing. Now you can see this picture. You have an idea that this bottle is different type. There is a trademark, Shalimar. Then there is a design, also called design also there, that is recorded. This cap, this one small cap, this one big cap, this one teen cap. This is patented. This is the technology they use. This is the type. They can open it, flip. Then this one can be flipped. This one can be spoon cap. So these are all method and what you call the technology that they using. So this one patented by them. Other person may not do. Okay. So every company have their different things and different modifications. They can patent, they may not patent, up to them. So, but this one I am just telling, this must be they have patent, like the carving of the bottle, they have made this. So they should already have patented this. I know. Okay, so now when we study the applications of patent in India and foreign in India, then we can see the Indian patent means who is filing the patent is very less than the foreigner registering patent in India. You can see it is 5 times higher than the Indian persons foreigner registering in India. Here, so we have, because the knowledge is not there, maybe the money is not there, and they don't aware that we can do this patent, we can do this copyright protection, etc., etc. So they are not so easy, and also the funding also very difficult, and they don't know at all. This is very law and etc. is there, so nobody want to go in this. So suppose after patent file, after 18 months, it is become secret. So after 18 months, it become published. It is published. Like this, what you call patent was filed by one of our friend, and it is published in our Indian patent. Okay. So same my one also there. It is filed and published after 18 months in India. So after 18 months, this one go for 48 months, it go for further examination. And after examination, yes, it is can be patented or not, the reviewer tell, and then it can be cleared, ROS will be clear, then only it can be filed as a patent, or it can get patent credibility. So it takes around 4 years or something. So when we're talking about publication, as Madam told, and also I told first time, that every what we know, we cannot file maybe patent, but publication is very important in our life, means in our research life. So there are several types. Maybe many of you have attended my previous lectures. This one I have told also several times. Self-publication, letters to editor, newspaper publication. I can write something in the newspaper, literacy magazine, and then other types of magazine. Then scholarly journals. What we understand about the publication is research publication. Then web magazines and books. All these are under publication. And in the book, there is ISBN number. I don't go for details because time, I think, going very late, and all of you are attending many seminars. So if I am there for 4 lecture like this heavyweight lecture, I will be very puzzled. I have to run away. So ISBN number, when you go, we just know this. There is a number, registration. This is country specific, then registered organization specific, then the book specific, this last one. Okay. So suppose my institution will get like up to this. Then 05, 06, 07, the book numbers, it will change. So these are the digits we can check and understand by this digit which book, which area, it means which country had been published and who is the publisher. By this number, everything can be get. Every book have this number behind this, what you call, behind the book. And librarian know this very well. Bookseller also know. You can, when we go for public buy a book, if we tell the ISBN number only, that is sufficient to buy a book. No need to buy, remember the name of the book, author of the book, publisher of the book, anything. Just tell the ISBN number, you will get the book, original book. Now ISSN also same for the journals, newspaper. This ISSN, this is International Standard Serial Number we tell. That is for book, ISBN, and this is for journals and etc. Same thing, the digits are there, and we can understand from which it is published, and we can verify. Nowadays, very much, you must be careful that publication is very much become a business, and there are many predatory journals. And also, morning, I think Pranam sir has been shared in our group that some listed journals from UGC or something. I don't read properly, but I think that is about the predatory journals which is delisted from scope UGC. Now, there are some journals using the same name and publishing papers. Suppose the Scopus journal is there, taking the name and publishing paper. So if you verify with this ISSN number with the UGC or Scopus, then you can easily understand that which one is original journal. So the fake journal, very much now, it is a business now. Very careful. You don't publish any article in predatory journals. Okay, and also you should careful about this ISSN number in the journal is there, and you can match the journal ISSN with the granting body like UGC, Scopus, whichever is you want, ministry. Usually very easy. If you don't go for this searching, you rely on university publications, journals, right? Okay, suppose the university published any journal, that is, you can trust on the university. But if any publisher is publishing, that you don't depend clearly. You have to search for this properly. Any government institution publish, that is different issue. Now, what is the basic criteria? It should have ISSN, timeliness. It should publish proper time. There is 2 months, 6 months. Minimum time is 2 months to 6 months. Any publication, because it takes time. You review and go to editor, proofreading, etc., etc. Takes time. Publication ethic. It should be peer-reviewed quality, and also other things like content, editorial, authorship, many things. Manuscript, submission guidelines should be clear. Everything should be clear. Then only you can think this is a proper journal. Then, what are the scientific articles? You already know that suppose any experiment we do, case study or original study is called articles, scientific articles. News articles is published in newspaper. There are two different. So one is scientific research article, one is newspaper article. So when we go, you can see there are many types of publication: meeting abstract, research article, review article, and peer-reviewed articles, then popular news article. Then what is the difference between this peer-reviewed article and newspaper article? Because a peer-reviewed article, I am publishing, suppose Pranam sir is publishing on financial aspect, a publication or finance matter. So a non-finance person like me, it is not relevant to me. So I will not read any finance journal. When I attending some classes, previously I was attending some MBA classes. That time, one professor, eminent professor of Calcutta, she is chartered accountant and very senior. You may heard her name also, Sharadindu sir. He was teaching debt recovery. Debt recovery. I am a biologist, so I heard death recovery. So debt, he is talking about debt, I am thinking death. So after few minutes, when he write on the board, DT, I think, okay, debt, debt, again death is like this, DT. And death again recovered, how it is recovering, and accounts also there. Then I am very much puzzled about in the class, because I am not in the class, and when he is talking about death and recovery of death in accounts, then I think how what is going on. I very much puzzled. So the subject is debt recovery. After a few moments, when everybody was in the class, I told, what is going on? Then he told, you are not understanding, it's debt. Oh, then I understand and read the book. It is debt recovery, not death recovery. So same thing, one article published in Finance Journal is one article published in Molecular Biology Journal about COVID. It's not same. The Molecular Biology Journal is not read by the science people or the management people, and management people's Finance Journal is not read by molecular biologists. That is the major difference. That is the peer-reviewed article, scholarly journal. Malaria Journal, publishing only malaria article and related. Dengue Journal, publishing only dengue. Now, you can understand newspaper. Newspaper is read by school children to aged person. Everybody, management or non-management. So any article and readership, high readership. One newspaper, millions of copy printed. E also there. But journal printed very less quantity and it is targeted to a specific audience. But newspaper targeted to a larger audience. But there is some difference. Newspaper is localized. One newspaper of Tamil Nadu is localized in Tamil Nadu. One newspaper of Bengal is localized in Bengal. One newspaper of Malaysia localized in Malaysia. So there is a specific region. So there is a regional news you can see in the pages. And other is international news or something divisions are there. So that regional news is changed from Kolkata news to North Bengal news. Both is changed. Newspaper same, main news is same, but that news page is changed in different places. So the readership is targeted to that locality. But the journal is targeted to international and it is not localized, but it is targeted to a specific audience, not that everybody, child and everybody. Okay, that is the main difference. So you can write any general article in newspaper. You want to the target audience, okay, I want this to read by everybody. I publish in newspaper. But if I want, okay, I want to publish in this, I will publish in journal. Same thing, you can publish in Facebook, you can publish in LinkedIn. Now it is also considered as publication. You can refer that in your journal. It is published in Facebook. Okay, suppose I am giving this talk, you can take this talk and refer my talk. Like I just now refer Madam Manjusha Madam's slide. So you can refer my talk that yes, he has talked in this thing. Now, where from I have taken, that is my reference. Okay. There comes the reference. We should refer. Why? Otherwise it will tell plagiarized. Here, because we are not doing everything by our own. Everything I am telling all the researchers and everywhere that every cow have 4 legs. When I describe a cow, I have to describe 4 legs. But one Indian cow is not same as New Zealand cow. There is some difference. So that is the difference, and I have to refer that cow has 4 legs. I cannot tell that cow has 4 legs. It is told by Sandeep Poddar. It is already discovered. It is already well known first. Okay, just I'll give you example, but that is different aspect. Means cow has 4 legs. We cannot tell that is told by somebody. It is universal truth. So same thing. Many things are the invention that it is discovered by, like plane is discovered by John Wright, like that. So you cannot tell plane is discovered by Graham Bell. Next is that when we do referencing, we should follow the steps. Sir, how much time I have? Maybe time already finished. Okay, sir, I will not take much time. Maybe within
You continue, sir, no problem. You can
I'll
take
finish 10 minutes.
10,
Otherwise,
15 minutes.
participant
No
will
problem.
be angry. They have to go for other things also. Okay, sir. So everybody know how to do reference, and there is reference styles. That author name, title, everything should be there. Otherwise, and why you need of reference? If we do not properly arrange the reference, it looks like this office. And if we do the proper referencing, it should be arranged properly. The files like that, office files. Okay. Now for this, we now have softwares, EndNote, Mendeley, etc. Previously, that Madam telling that during our time there is no referencing software. There is no Google also. We have to go to university, Bose Institute, like my science one. I have to go to Bose Institute. I have to go to Calcutta University Science Library, and there is a books, thick books. We have to read the abstract. We have to copy the abstract, copy the reference by hand, type it by typist, not computer. That delete and you have to type it and then produce the thesis. After that, when we submit, then already computer come, but still then computer is not means not everywhere. Only few shops are there where we can do. Now there are different types of referencing. Every journal when we publish, there is a different style they maintain. Otherwise, one person may come like t-shirt, one person may come like shirt, another person may come like tie. That is not uniform. So for this maintaining the uniformity, we have to make this follow the one style. APA, MLA, Oxford, Harvard, like that type, many types of there. So each style have defined rules that I'm not going to details now because the time is short. You can see the APA style have the writing like Laser 2008, but Laser J 2006, but here they have to write the first name full. Laser Jonathan in MLA style. There is the some small differences there, but whichever style we are following, we have to follow in whole thesis or whole book. Now software is there, so we don't have to crack our head, but still don't depend on software everything. Okay, I have seen one person submitted by software. Suppose I give you example, Poddar Sandeep. The software think that Sandeep is the title, surname. So Sandeep P, not that Poddar S. So that type of thing we have to think and we have to apply our brain. Mainly how to use, you can see in this YouTube link. Different types of referencing, you can see this many things. Reference, how to do reference from Facebook, how to do reference from other things. There are ethical consideration. I think, sir, I can skip this now because ethical consideration is very much needed for theses and etc. We cannot copy. It is related to plagiarism. We cannot tell our authorship, as I told just now. Main thing.
I'll deal with, sir, in my own session. There is a separate session for research and publication ethics.
Okay.
And also on plagiarism.
Okay. So plagiarism also somebody's idea we cannot take. These are the things already maybe you have passed or maybe you will listen. So there are different softwares also there in India or Kund. Turnitin is used now everywhere in the world. This is similarity check software, not that it is checking the plagiarism. Means if I tell that some word, it may be copied, it can be copied, it will show. But it is not telling that who write that sentence, I write or other person write. So that is the software cannot detect. That is called plagiarism. Then author's publication right, copyright, etc. is there, as I told. Then visibility of your research. When we do innovation, as I told first slide, that we should make it visible. We should circulate our publication. After publication, our work start. Not that after publication it is done. We have done a publication. We have to check the publication. We have to people have to read that publication. Then only the publication should be used by the industry and etc. Then only there is a gain from that research work. Okay. Otherwise, it is vanished. Then for this, if the citation is go up, then our H index also go up. Means if somebody cite my article in their research work, it is the benefit that I get as a researcher primarily is my H index will go up. Okay. So thank you with this. I think everybody is now angry, but thank you to IARA, our organization, and Nabobaliganj Mahavidyalaya, Ashrapara College, and Hiral Mojindar Medical College for Women for coming up and joining hand to hand to make this platform visible to everybody. And thank you, Pranam sir, for arranging so much, taking so much pain whole day and whole night to organize this event. We can understand. Madam, Monjusha madam, thank you also to stay full lecture. I not to tell anything. And also Sukumal sir and other all dignitaries.
Sukumal sir is also here. Sukumal sir has some questions and some observations also. So I am asking, I have already muted him. So some other questions are also there. Thank you so much, sir, for your very good presentation. And one senior person is there with us, Dr. Sharma. He is a very senior and sincere researcher from South India. So he has already appreciated you. But coming up with the questions and observations of Dr. Sukumal Datta, sir.
No question, sir. Only a suggestion. Because I'm very junior. Don't ask.
I have mentioned that we believe on so many organizations, in addition to the university, that their publication article will be published, and we can rely on that. For example, Chartered Accountant, published by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India.
Yes.
Research Bulletin and Management Accountant, published by the Indian Institute of Cost Accountants of India. Journal of Commerce, published by the All India Commerce Association, etc. etc. So many journals, and we rely on that. But
Yes.
all of those are not approved by the university or the teachers' career advancement. Similarly, publications by the all universities are not also approved by the UGC for taking the benefit of career advancement. This is my suggestion.
Yes. No, actually, sir, as you told rightly, UGC only screens some journals which is applied to them and they come up with result. And sometimes it is biased also. They don't see mischeck properly.
We cannot mention that this is bias.
Actually, no, bias
Not
means
expected.
they are depending on some data, and that data
Yes, yes, yes.
wrong, then they are biased from that data. Means they are not going to check the journal by physically and like that. It is not possible also. So many journals applying. And but the thing is, if we publish something, what we are gaining, and if the journal is reputed or not. If I publish, if my readership is not there, then no value of UGC recognized or Scopus index, anything. If my thing is read by the whole world, open access, and everybody can see international publication, then it is more valuable. So, and then everybody will refer. So for that I am telling, after publication, you have to put in Facebook, you have to send to the friends, you have to put in LinkedIn, you have to publish, you have to propagate, means publication means publicity. So you have to publicize.
I agree with you that citation by others is the most important for a writer or researcher.
Yes, sir.
That's the most important.
And that is the
Citation
gain
by the others.
Yes, that is the gain of the researcher.
Yes, of
But,
course.
but let me also supplement, Dr. Pillai, because I have been engaged in publication procedure as organizer in different journals in review board, and including Emerald and EBSCO. I have been the reviewer for so long. There is a consortium for academic and research ethics, denoted as CARE, C-A-R-E. So it every year it removes some journals and includes some journals, and the policy is same for the Scopus or other indexation, like a ADBC journal in Australia. There are some specific indexation procedure parameters. Amongst them, one is citation, but there is certain limitation also. Suppose you have been given permission to publish 7 or 8 articles in one issue, but out of some dishonest intention, no question of plagiarism and other things. This is also a part of research ethics. This is not a business. Some journals think it to be a business and they publish in 70 articles in one issue. They name it as special issue and take the processing fees from the researchers, and it has become a practice. That's why this CARE has been formed in India under the approval of MHRD and UGC, and this CARE is having vice chancellors and UGC chairman and other very dignified persons. They have a specified committee. They check whether all the parameters, including the proper citation policy, referencing, integrity, plagiarism, and also publication in one issue, that limitation has been seen or not. On the basis of that, CARE list is updated every day. There is, I think, no personal or human issue. This is a policy matter. And Scopus is also having the same policy, and ADBC is also having the same policy, and only the citation is not important. Even there is dishonest intention in the university students and research scholars and teachers also. Being a university teacher, I admit that I tell my research scholar every day you cite my article, then citation will automatically increase. But there is a checking policy, not able to disclose clearly, but there is a filtering policy. When one person is regularly citing or seeing one article, automatically filtered by the organizers or the publishers. So there are some issues. On the basis of that, the list is automatically updated. Previously these were named as UGC approved journals. Now it is known as UGC CARE listed journal in India. But in other countries, their education policies are different. Accordingly, the publication policies and indexations are also different. And I-10 index is also another filter process apart from H index already mentioned by Dr. Poddar. I-10 index rigorously checks the particular author's citation and the journal citation, and the impact factor is the formula where the numerator is the author's index and author citation, and the denominator is the journal citation within a particular academic year into 100. So this gives the I-10 index, and every indexation impact factor, all these things are calculated in scientific way. So we have to abide by these things. And regarding the professional journals mentioned by Professor Dotto from of Chartered Institute, of Cost Institute, Management Institute, IIM, IIT, lots of journals are there. But the procedure of indexation is almost same for all the journals. Integrity checking is only a part of research ethics, but the citation policy is having lots of things not mentioned in public. So these are also issues.
I just want to add that this one is care list only for India. If you go
Only for India.
there is no need of care listed journal.
No, then international indexation like Scopus and other indexation
Scopus is for Elsevier, but
Yeah.
without that there is Web of Science. There are much more advanced system, and I have seen 1937 one paper is published, that is that time no internet, my grandfather's paper, that is cited in 2019. Somebody have cited that Web of Science can track. They have shown me that they have the tracking system, which lab, which person is referring that article. So there is a full system they can track Web of Science. Now they are more 80 years they are working, not Scopus like that 40, 20 year, 30 year. They are more than that. So Web of Science is already
Web
there.
of Science is a very old one.
Then Scopus also coming up, Elsevier also coming up with SkyVal. They can what you call screen every statistical data they can give for every paper. So there are many things in publication that we don't go for detail. Now we focus on that for this common researcher. We have, as a common researcher, we must go for a proper journal, and we should publish our article, and we should publicize that matter. That is our general theme we can take out from this easy forum, means easy way we can tell it like that. If we go for calculating and etc., that is our term, means our task, not for the general researchers' task to what you call to analyze the data. Okay, sir.
Thank you so much,
Thank
sir.
you,
And
sir.
your student Yuli Fetty has already expressed that I am a student of Dr. Sandeep in Lincoln University College, and everybody has Yuli is there. She is in video, and I am unmuting her.
Yes, I am a student of.
Yes.
So you say something.
Hello, doctor.
Thank you. Thank you for joining.
Yes, thank you.
So thank you, ma'am, for joining from Indonesia. She is a foreign participant here, like Professor Gita. She is a foreign participant since the first day. She is doing the classes very rigorously. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining with us.
Yes, welcome, sir. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you so much. And Professor Gita is also here in the video. Ma'am, please say something.
Okay, yeah. Hi, Prof. Prof. Pranam and Dr. Sandeep. That's very nice. We are in the same country, but I'm meeting you in India. Great. Yeah.
So let me tell you, my paper, first international publication was published in MAM's journal in 2013, Journal of Emerging Issues in Islamic Research. My paper on Islamic banking and finance was there, and it had got lots of citations. Ma'am is now the executive editor of that journal, and she is working as the associate professor and head of the Department of Business Administration in University Technology Mara, Malaysia. So thank you so much, ma'am, for joining with us.
Prof. Pranam, I just want to add a little bit to Dr. Sandeep's presentation. I think I agree with Dr. Sandeep. Like in Malaysia now, we are going one step further, like what Dr. Sandeep said, we are going one step further into innovation. So basically, it is because of commercialization and also to make our research visible. Because otherwise, if we do all the research and it's just sitting in the corner somewhere, so Malaysian government now is moving towards commercialization, so they are encouraging all the universities here to innovate. So maybe we can do some innovation, Prof. Pranav. Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Okay.
And some
And
collaborative international research exposure should also be there. This is to supplement Professor Geeta. We
Yep.
can collaborate with some research projects with which will come out in the form of output. We can collaborate jointly with Professor Sandeep, Professor Geeta, and somebody, Professor Dotto from India. So this type of collaborative research that I was telling in the previous session will add a flavor to the publication, and it will be stronger enough, because we don't have all the concepts and all the knowledge of econometrics, statistics, management, everything. But if it is blended knowledge, sharing of knowledge, then it will become a good publication. So that I was telling. And good publication must win over. Let there be business motive, let there be commercial attitude. If your publication has merit, then we must win. So this is my note. Thank you so much, ma'am.
yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Really appreciate what you are doing, Prof. Pranav. You have really impressed me and many others. Great job. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And thank you so much to our main resource person of this session, Dr. Sandeep Poddar. And I have seen regularly that he is joining so much before than the session, and he is there with us. And now it's, I think, 9 p.m. at Malaysia. So still he has to complete his dinner, ma'am also, in the same country, but still there with us. So with this happy note, thank you so much, sir, for being with us, and your very enriched presentation helped the participants a lot. That is depicted from their chat, in the chat box. And
Thank you all the participants also.
and learned participants, thank you all also for your kind cooperation. And with this, with the permission of all the dignitaries, including Professor Sukamal Dotto and other collaborators, I declare this session as over. Thank you so much.
Okay, sir. Just to tell, stay safe, everybody. Wash your hand and change your mask or clean your mask properly every time when you go out, because now India is very tough situation. So all of you must take care of yourself. Doctor also human. They cannot take care of you. You have to take care of your own things. So please take care.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, everyone. And this session is over. Good night to everybody.